Hello, I think we're recording. So, I'd like to respond to your question, are we producing reality, and what I'm doing now, or what you're doing in sending a video to YouTube? Well, I think you could almost write a PhD thesis on this question. It's enormously complex, but let's try and address it with a few simple elements. Well, first of all, I think we can say that reality, first of all, is a relative concept. In other words, what I mean here is that we only think of reality in opposition to something else, which would be an illusion or would be just the appearances of something. Common sense idea of this, of course, is in dreams we say that what we see in dreams, the objects and so on, aren't part of reality, because we can compare them with the reality of sense experience that you have during the day. But of course, there have been philosophical and religious beliefs that say that what we normally, in common sense terms, think of as being reality is itself illusory, because what we get through sense experience is not real, or there's something beyond that which is true reality. So it's a very complex question. You can also say, second thing is that we place value judgment on reality as well. We prefer reality to illusion, and there are some very good reasons for that. Of course, we need to go around, get about in the world, and to perform our purposes, and to survive, and to feed ourselves, and to produce, and so on. So we can't do this unless we have a kind of unless we were able to affect causal changes in the world around us, and to do this we need a sense of reality. So let me try and apply some of this to this question, and are we producing reality when we send in a video on YouTube? Well, of course, the answer depends on the answer to the question, what is reality? Let me just, to simplify things, I'll take it that reality is what science tells us to be, that it is today. Reality, in the sense, is the question of energy, flows of energy, and very hesitant about this because I know very little about it, but at the base of particle physics there are theories about how energy flows from one place to another. And so here I think we can say that we maybe shouldn't confuse reality and the real, because you can say that, for example, when you have a dream, the objects in it are not real, but still the dream itself is part of reality. In the same way, when you see an image of me here speaking on the YouTube video, of course you don't have a real me in front of you, but the images are still part of reality. And in the scientific worldview, there's a kind of unified theory of reality, and so there are not different domains in which there's not kind of hierarchy of reality. Everything's part of the same reality, and constituted by the same elementary particles, which in turn are, as I mentioned very clumsily a moment ago, come down to flows of energy and so on. So when we excuse me, I just lost my screensaver coming up. So that when we send in a video to YouTube, yes, we're having an impact on reality. Of course, we're not producing something out of nothing, because as scientific and philosophical theories have held for many centuries, it's impossible to produce something from nothing, although I can just say in passing there are theories that try to refute that and say that in fact over time reality is produced, but let me just assume here that that's not true, and that you can't produce something out of nothing, and nothing is ever produced out of nothing. Well, in that case then we're not producing reality in that sense on YouTube, but we're having a causal influence which is in the form of producing video, but and this comes down to technological reproduction of images, pixels on a screen. But more importantly, I think behind that is the fact that we're producing changes. I'm producing changes now as you listen to me in your brain, so that you can, you change your ideas, so the physical changes in your brain, but also this is changing your ideas, and I hope among those ideas it's changing your ideas of reality, so it's changing your physical reality of your brain in a physical sense, but it's also changing about, in doing that, it's changing how you think about reality. And reality is what we think about reality. You follow that? So I'm changing reality and changing your ideas of reality. So there are a few ideas, and well, that's a very important point, because reality is, what we think of as reality is not just the solid objects around us, tables, chairs and so on, but it's also how we think about reality. And this is something that develops differently in different societies, and it's a result of discussion, of communication, of persuasion, of the elaboration of theories, scientific theories. And so reality is produced in this way. It's a social construct, and I think I'm going to run out of time to go on for hours on this subject, but there's a small contribution.